Oh, hey guys! Happy Wax Plant Wednesday, everyone. Before I start the Hoya chores, I want to show you, actually I might have to do some stuff. My Hoya Hanye pink flowers. She's in bloom, and if anyone has a Hanhiae, the blooms don't last long. I want to say on average they last like 2 to 3 days. Future Kevin, zoom in. This situation, I hope it's in focus, but this situation, do you know what? I think this might be like the biggest like ball of blooms that this plant has given me, which is like amazing. I literally checked these yesterday and untangled them, and of course they're okay. Whew, look at this. I think this is pretty insane. Okay, so let's put this on the table and look up there. I really can't get over these. Seriously, this Hoya is so beautiful. Oh my god, look at this. Yeah, I don't know. They're so cute, pink, and it's like a ball. I don't know. She's, you know, under that table where all my big Hoyas are. I'm gonna have to cut down this plant because the grow light is just touching all the foliage and it's burning. But it's tough because it is such a big plant. Like, I don't know if y'all can see. It is gigantic. There are more blooms on its way. Over there, we're coming there, more over there. And this is just one side. The other side over here, you have these, you have those, some over here, like they're everywhere. So I originally got this plant from North Shore Tropicals. Was it 2020 or 2021? It was one of those. This was the first Hoya I experimented propagating in Lekka. I think there's a video. Anyhow, I'm just gonna cut all the, you know, the burnt leaves. I feel bad. Yeah, but this Hoya, I remember when I propagated it last, when I cut it, like the smell was so strong. I don't know how to describe it. Also, y'all don't ask me what this smells like. It's like floral with a touch of sweetness. I don't know, y'all. I'm so bad with describing scents. And okay, what else can I talk about? I just need to, I'm grabbing those same clips and just kind of tying the tendrils down, or I'm just cutting a lot of them because it's already like a huge plant. Growing conditions for this plant. I have never tried putting this plant under like lower light conditions. She's been living in pond. I know I said that she was my first experiment propagating in Lekka, but I eventually either propagated that one back and got rid of the mother plant, or I just put the cuttings into pond. But I think I found faster and like healthier looking foliage when this plant was in Lekka. With this one in pond, I think it was a little bit slower to just kind of push out growth, but once it established itself in the pond, it just took off. That's another like thing that I see, and tell me if I'm wrong, but like with Hoyas, you don't need to like flush the pond. Like they can actually take a lot. Their foliage won't suffer. I think maybe because there's like an abundance of nutrients, you know, latched in, you know, components in the pond, like that might be a reason why. I find the ones that have been in pond for a long time are blooming, but I don't want to, I feel like I might mix that up with the plant also feeling established in the medium since they've been in the medium for that long. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just talking. Yeah, I know this has a big root system. I filled up the reservoir to the maximum yesterday and it's already halfway. And it's a lot lighter. Anyhow, okay, this next Hoya, Hoya Lobbii, black flowers, I guess, or purple. I haven't talked about her because she hasn't done much, and like I've done that on purpose. I feel like the lighting is weird. So before, I moved this plant into my living room just because it had lower light conditions, and like she maybe pushed out a couple leaves, but she didn't grow. I moved her back here, but it's really far from the window. She just started growing again, and the flowers are just about to pop off. Like, look at this beautiful Hoya. She's really dusty. I am obsessed with how these look right before they open. Oh, the camera. Ooh. I don't know. I think they look so adorable, but I think because it's summer now and there's more light, more hours of light, it's starting to bloom again. Okay, I don't know, I've debated this. Hoya Silver Lady, here's the thing. I don't know, I think, okay, so y'all know that I cut back my Hoyas to propagate, they're in perlite. I have a mother plant that's doing well and she's living in Lekka, I think. I don't think I'm gonna sell the Silver Ladies, so I think I might just put them in pond. None of them, I think maybe only one of them died. I think I already got rid of her, or she didn't push out any growth. I'm like, whatever. But all the other ones are doing great. And y'all, I don't know what else. Like in this bin, there's tequila sunrises. There's, was it a New Guinea ghost in here? But the silver ladies, I want to put them into pond. I just think I would like this plant would just would like it if it's fuller. I don't know. Do people like this Hoya? To me, ooh, these ones are pretty. And the lighting is horrendous. I don't know if y'all can tell, but these leaves look so pretty. Watch me change my mind, because it's me, and I always change my mind. Ooh, I don't know. I feel like when you compare other silver Hoyas to one another, like the silver lady is not one that people talk about. Okay, there's 4. Do I only have 4? Just double checking. Oh, there's one here. 5. Oh, 6. Okay, let's put these away. Oh my God, look at all of them lined up over here. I'm gonna do this pot over here. Again, I'll put the link in the description. Cash pot, net pot indicator. I'm just going to take them out of the perlite. Now, these have been in perlite for 6 months. They've been doing great. And you know, the foliage was on the smaller side to begin with, but the moment I started feeding with nutrient solution, after about, I think the 3-month mark, you know, that's when she started taking off. Again, perlite is very similar to like the components in pond, so I don't necessarily care about taking off all the perlite. If I was putting this in leca, I wouldn't take a lot of it off either. You only really need to care if like the substrate that you're trying to take off is like soil related, anything organic, I guess. Oh, all rooted along the stem there. Beautiful roots. You know, it's so hard to show how silver these new leaves are. If I put it side by side to these ones, oh, they look the same. These ones are so silver. Okay, again, healthy roots all over there. Number 3. Look at those roots right over there. Yeah, so I don't want to say, like, this is gonna sound really mean, but like, this is kind of an example of like, you know, feeling kind of bored of a plant. And so by me putting them in pond and, you know, kind of sparking my interest and my curiosity when it comes to like growing this plant in a different medium, a medium I've never tried before with this specific plant, I'm kind of sparking interest again because I have one in leca, it's growing well. I want to compare and see how this one grows in pond. Okay. Number 4. Okay, look at those. And the last one. I already attached a trellis too. So I'm excited because I want to use those new trellises that I got from Nursery Tropicals, the clear acrylic ones. If you missed that video, you can watch it over here, but they're perfect. I am so obsessed with them. And a lot of people told me that they've also bought it and like they also love them. And again, I guess it's still a preference, but wow, I was like very surprised how much I liked them because I normally don't care about trellises and if you can see them like attached to the plant. So ooh, I already ordered more. I hope they come this week because I have so much to do with my Hoyas. I get this question all the time. It changes from time to time, but when do I decide to put a Hoya in leca versus pond? Do you know what? I'm gravitating more to putting Hoyas in pond. Like I've experienced my big Hoyas that are living in leca, they become very unstable. I think with pond, like just because it's heavier than like the leca balls, like it stays stable. Maintenance wise, I feel like it's easier to have Hoyas in pond versus leca. I think because of the frequent nutrient changes when it comes to leca, the foliage does look bigger and healthier and shinier. I mean, sometimes you could replicate that if you just, you know, feed the Hoyas in pond the same nutrient solution. Last one over here. I think the medium size for these trellises is gonna be one that I use a lot. I don't know. So here's the medium. I'm just gonna put them in the holes at the bottom of this pot just like that. Add some pon. And I guess we'll start putting them in. So I'm gonna put the one that's the longest over here. Just kind of lean it against the trellis. I think that's good. Next one on this side. And yeah, I'll just put each one in and kind of guide it towards the trellis. You know, with it being like a full pot of like multiple cuttings, it actually looks better in my opinion. Okay, I'm just adding some pon. Okay, so the pon is just to the top. I'm just gonna add the same clips over here. I'm excited for this one. I don't know if y'all are excited as well. I think this is gonna ignite the excitement again with this plant. Oh hey guys, it is the next morning, good morning. And okay, once upon a time, if y'all remember, I had a Hoya Australis Lisa. She was so big, I put her up 2 bamboo trellises, and then she got kind of out of control, and I wanted to give another opportunity for the other plants to, well, more specifically, the Hoyas to grow big like that one. Y'all know that I don't have a lot of room in this room, so I only kept, I think, 7 cuttings, and I plopped them into water. They have grown roots, and so I'm gonna put them in pon, and I'm gonna try, because I've seen this, I'm gonna try just letting it trail. Is that a good idea? Okay, so they're mixed in with some Hanhiae yellow flower props as well. I'm just gonna take the Australis ones out. This one doesn't even have, okay, this one doesn't have roots, but I'm gonna try. I can't believe it. I'm actually shocked. It's probably been like 6 weeks. Okay, you can go there. How come none of these have roots? Oh, there's one. Right there, I guess that's one root. Oh my gosh, okay. This one looks like it has a new, okay, this one has roots. This single leaf here has roots like that. Some of these might have not been touching the water because this one doesn't have roots either. Okay, okay. This one has a new growth, look at that. And new roots at the bottom here. Yay! Okay, and then this one already has a new growth with these 2 leaves and a beautiful root system. Oh, there's one more actually. This one here and these roots here. Just adding a layer of pon. Again, I've only grown this Australis Lisa in leca, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this one grows, and I'm gonna try trailing this time. And then I'm still gonna keep the ones that don't have roots. I'm just gonna maybe cut a leaf or 2 so it's easier to, you know, put in the pot. So yeah, y'all saw that half of these are not even rooted. I'm not worried at all. I'm guessing that there might have been a point where like the stems weren't even touching the water and like the water level went down. Or maybe because it was just a west facing view, it wasn't getting enough hours of light. But I mean, y'all saw that half of them were rooted, and so yay. Let me know if y'all have any experience with this trailing. I feel like most people's Australis Lisa that I see, they're trailing, so Maybe that's just the way people grow it, but like I've always grown mine on a trellis. Okay, the next plant, I went back and forth about this plant. What I want to do, I still don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna kind of take a look at it with you guys. It's the Hoya Sulawesi GPS 8867. So I guess I have to move this again. Looks so good right now. Oh, there is a new leaf. Oh, there's a couple new leaves, guys. Okay, let's assess. Here she is. Okay, so beautiful Hoya. I love this Hoya so much. Long tendril. She's just like waving at y'all. Okay, so let's show the new leaves. Oh, that beautiful red, and they're new. Okay, that's one. There's a second one here. So beautiful. Okay, here's the thing. And this is actually the first time it's kept throwing out a tendril. It's probably because I haven't like tied it down, but you can see that 2 instances here. I trained this down. It didn't die off though, it's still alive at the very end. And then the second one here, I trained down as well. It's dead. And I think I mentioned before that usually because Hoyas like to grow up, it's the node at the very top of this whole trellis situation that the new growth point will grow from. And so I guess I decided to let this go because I just like didn't know if it was gonna die or something. But now that it's long enough, I might train it like this. And now that it's long enough, I could attach it growing up. How do we feel? Oh. I was like debating, I was like, should I chop it? But like, look at these leaves. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna chop it. That is so beautiful. Okay, why don't we train it down then? I think that's a good idea. Yeah, see, and there's already a new growth. Maybe I'll try to show you. This right there is a brand new growth. They'll just keep going up, y'all. Okay, let's take this. I know people ask when you should train it down. Should you even train it down since they like growing up? I mean, it depends on the Hoya. A lot of the times when you train a tendril down, it might kill the tip of the tendril. But if you're giving your Hoya the right conditions, so enough light, enough support, it's going to push a new growth from some other node. And so I really don't care. I usually just do this because now I can't just let them grow out of control. So I'm just kind of looping it around and giving it support to grow up. I think that's all I'll do. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about propagating it because honestly, she's kind of squished in between plants under the table, but she's pushing out the new leaves. I think she's okay. Yeah, do you know what's strange, guys? I'm pretty sure this is the 4th week that my plants have been in nutrient solution. I haven't really paid attention to like what the temperature is like in this room just because I've been at work a lot, but maybe it's just not hot enough here that they're not utilizing the reservoir, like the water and nutrients, because usually at this point the reservoirs would be close to being dry, but I'm checking and they're fine, so I'll probably push it another week, and yeah, we'll just see what happens. I just noticed the tendril's still like not secure. Okay, perfect. Okay, I guess we'll take a look at the Glabra Schlecter because she is another one kind of done the same thing. So I think you can see it's kind of out of control and the tendril is waving. Yeah, there are new leaves coming out. Maybe I'll just keep it like this. I think I will keep this chaotic the way it is. I do need to tie the tendril down, so why don't we do that? Again, when you're doing this, you don't want to force the tendrils where they don't want to be. So obviously like don't go against, you know, where they're growing. So you can see that this tendril is comfortable going that way, so we're gonna keep going that way, and we're not gonna like tie it super tight like that. We're gonna, you know, since there's already a natural curve here, we're just gonna keep that, and then down here just tie it to the trellis. Now this part that's left over, we're just gonna train it up again. Just know that things constantly change with Hoyas. Like this end that I trained might die, but just know that you are still offering support in this arch here, and there are a couple nodes here, so there's a chance that there will be new leaves there. And I'm just doing a little bit of a cleanup. I see there's some dead ends here. So this was a dried up part, which is fine because there are new growths below. And I'm I'm trying not to destroy the leaf. I'm just tying another clip here. Yeah, I do, I really have this like love, I don't want to say hate, but sometimes when like these big leaf Hoyas get big, I don't know what to do with them, but also you do need to give them a lot of support in order for them to like push out leaves. Like all this growth at the very top here, that didn't exist until I put this bigger trellis. But before I put this big trellis, it was just a small one down here. You can see that she is pretty large and in charge down here. So it seems to me that this tendril has looped around already. So we're just gonna follow the same path and just clamp it over here, making sure it's not like too tight. Reservoir, how we feeling? Roots. Oh, y'all can't see it. Future can zoom in and look at the roots. Back it goes. Okay, I thought I was gonna have to chop this one too, but I kind of like what's happening. This chaotic one, maybe I'll do a little bit of a trim with this one. My Hoya Vitellinoides crossed with species UT001. I am actually shocked at how big she's getting, and I'm really happy to see that she's ready to bloom again. Look at that. Not only that, there's a second one here that needs a little bit more time, but she's here. Look at that. Okay, something I learned with this Hoya, and you'll see this with different kinds of Hoya, and I know I've said, you know, blast your Hoyas with light. They do need it, but sometimes you'll find Hoyas that will get damaged with really intense lighting situations. So this one is right under grow light, like it's probably touching here, and you can see that the damage is here. I think a while ago, I was looking at this and I thought it was either pest damage, so like broad mites, and so I kept looking and nothing. I'm pretty sure it's light damage after observing this plant, just because none of these leaves down here are damaged at all, while, you know, the leaves up here are presenting that way, obviously getting burnt. And so, yeah, let's do a cleanup. I'm just gonna tie some tendrils. I'm gonna cut some dried off parts. I think that's it for now. I can't wait for these to open. There is a slight chance that it might die off before, but I'm hopeful. I mentioned before that, you know, sometimes they'll get to this stage in blooming and then they'll just fall off. Maybe it was because of inconsistent watering, but the reservoir is good. So I'm just gonna put her back and we're gonna hope that it blooms for me again. I had to turn on like a fan because my camera keeps overheating. One of my favorite Hoyas, the Hoya Clemensiorum. I just love how long the leaves are and the veining. She's doing fine. I guess take a look to see what's going on. Leaves are so pretty. Right over here, y'all, look at this. Oh, the biggest leaf. It's just hanging. It's just like so beautiful. So again, this one's in Leca. I just want to assess the roots. They're sitting in the reservoir. Again, this is a Hoya that's totally fine with the roots sitting in the reservoir. And you could see with the foliage, like she's perfectly fine. Is this new? Oh, I love this plant so much. It always shocks me. I think this is a new leaf. I mean, I think there are 3 new leaves, but like, I didn't see this one before. Again, look at the veining and how long and the speckling. I don't know. It's, oh my God, it's so pretty. Okay, so just looking and assessing, like you could kind of see that this is a Hoya that doesn't mind when a tendril is trained down, like it's not gonna die off, because obviously if that was the case, these leaves wouldn't have popped up because I trained this tendril all the way down the trellis here. And there's also evidence here with this new tendril that there's a new leaf right over there. So hey, you can see that this tendril is pretty long, pretty loose, so I'm probably just gonna train it up this part. So I'm gonna put it down. I'm sorry if this is boring, guys, but like, again, these are like the Hoya chores that I don't usually film because, you know, this is kind of a boring thing, but this is kind of how I achieve the full lookingness of a lot of my Hoyas. I know people don't usually like doing this because like you risk killing that tip, but honestly, you'll get growth points from different nodes. So there's actually, like, I'll show you an example. So you could see once I trained it down, she pushed out a new tendril, and that tendril gave me all these new leaves here. So it's not always bad. I know like you have to risk it sometimes, but Hoyas are amazing when it comes to pushing out new growth, especially if like you have more than a couple of nodes. Ooh, you know guys, I think this is gonna be my favorites video. It is like super gorgeous. It's always frustrating because I always kind of look at this under table, and y'all know that I've done a good job, you know, kind of fitting all the Hoyas here. But you know, there are a lot of Hoyas that I want to grow this big, but I don't have room, and so I always look to see if there's any Hoya under here that, you know, I'm okay chopping down. That's kind of what I did with the Australis Lisa. And if y'all remember, fungus gnat. Oh, I killed it, yes! And if y'all remember the Obscura, this was like years ago, maybe it might have been a year ago. I was asking y'all if I should get rid of it. She was too big. And she was, when this table was on the other side, she was under the table under a grow light. I ended up just getting rid of her completely just because it is relatively like more common. So if I ever wanted it again, I could get it. I haven't felt the urge to get it again. So good decision on my part. Who's next? Cutis Porcelana. I guess we'll kind of assess all these Hoyas down here since it's been a while. Look at this. Oh, she's burnt at the top. Do you see it? And here's the thing. It's not as simple as like cutting it back. Like I would have to cut this back severely because every time you cut a tendril, it's gonna push out one or two sometimes new growth points at different nodes, and then it just multiplies. Specifically with this one, like I think that's how it got so big. There are a lot of plants in here, but like look at all these. Wave in. Okay, let's do a cleanup. Okay, I'm just cutting the burnt looking foliage. I do want to try to, you know, cut a few leaves on the top here from time to time, just because you'll get a lot of leaves under here, and like I can like lift this, and like a lot of leaves under here have died because they're not getting enough light, or, you know, I guess it's older growth, so it's kind of normal as well. But yeah, see, there's some that are, I can just pull out because the light got it. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of Hoya videos to put out. I know it's kind of recently just been repots and like propagations and more maintenance based, but like what do y'all want to see when it comes to Hoyas? I've honestly for a while I felt kind of, I don't know. Do y'all feel this way too? I'm just gonna talk a little bit. Do y'all feel this way where you're growing plants and they're growing well? So you see things, you know, based on your experience growing the plant, like you feel kind of weird or like an imposter, like giving, you know, plant care and advice, because, you know, everyone's experience is like so specific to like their environment and obviously their care, what substrate they're using. I don't know, you feel like you shouldn't give that advice because it's like too specific to you. I feel that way just because I hate, and I have never grown successfully a Hoya in like an aerated mix, for example. That's why I don't like giving advice about Hoyas. Yeah, so I don't know. Let me know, like, is there anything like care-wise that you want to see from me? Maybe I'll make a video just based on my experience.
Okay, what else should I talk about? Should I talk about?
Ooh, this side is like really, look at the, I don't know. I am very happy every time I see this plant because I know what it started out as, and it's just so pretty. I love it. Trust and believe, y'all. I want to get so many Hoyas. Oh yeah, one Hoya that I want so badly, and I totally forgot about it. You know, I saw it at a plant shop. It sold out very quickly. And again, who's got the funds to pay for, you know, super commercially rare Hoyas? But what is it called? Is it just like the Hoya Serpens Splash? Hoya Serpens Silver? That, you know, after growing the Mathilde Splash, can you imagine? Like, that would be lovely. Okay, let's look at one that I have forgotten for so long. I know I showed this. I'm pretty sure my houseplant tour. Let's take the sachets away. These are beneficials. I don't have an active pest outbreak situation. It's just preventive. It's the cucumber one. I don't know the name. Cucumberless? What is it? I don't know. But this is my Hoya Gray Ghost. Ooh, y'all. Ooh, these two leaves down here. So pretty. I don't know. This plant, like, there's waves of growth. I think I've mentioned that before. There's like waves of growth where it'll just grow really slow. Maybe it's temperature based because I find like during the winter it's pretty slow. And then sometimes just moments where it just takes off like now. Okay, so this new tendril here. So normally I would train it down and then we would go back around. That's how, you know, this trellis got really full. But in seeing that the natural kind of like, if I let go, you can see that it's kind of just going up like that. I might just tie it. Yeah, I think I might just tie it up here. Future Kevin, zoom in. So you can see here that it's looping that way. And then I'm just gonna put a clip up here. Is that okay? Again, I like to test, like, is it too tight, like based on like pulling the tendril and seeing like if there's enough space, and there is, so that's perfect. And it is absolutely wild. I know this is like of the Carnosa family, and so like the blooms probably will look similar, but you know, I normally don't get excited about this stuff, but honestly, sometimes they might say like that. There's a second one here too, and I think that's why I'm getting excited, because there's like a lot. Look at that. Eee, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I love this, this Gray Ghost a lot. No, I broke the Kerrii leaf that was growing. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. What am I gonna do with you? I'm gonna have to keep it going. Kerrii, Albomarginata. Look at this beaut. I broke this leaf. Future Kevin, zoom in. I broke this leaf, so I'm just gonna take it off. But look at this tendril. The thing with Kerrii specifically that I have experienced is they do not like being trained downwards. So I wish I like paid attention to this before. Oh my God. Sapiania is maybe, I think I'm gonna have to give it a new trellis. Look at these leaves. They're a lot bigger. I think because I have 2 bamboo trellises, I'll just put an additional 2, and then somehow, like, you can't even bend this tendril. Like, it is just so stiff. Probably gonna break. Okay, give me a sec. You could rest on the Gray Ghost. Okay, y'all, how do we feel? If I put this bamboo trellis just here, zip tie it to the existing. I don't think I'm gonna do the other hoop because, I don't know, it seems like it's totally fine, just not, like, I'm not gonna be able to loop it again. Do you know what? I can always add it after. Yeah, here's the thing with Hoya Kerrii. I feel like I always hear mixed opinions, or not mixed opinions, what am I saying? Mixed experiences, maybe? If this is like easy or hard, if it's fast or slow. I've had like lags in, you know, growth, but I think mainly it was because of the lighting. I feel like if you propagate it back, it does take a while for it to kind of, you know, start pushing out growth at a rapid rate. But yeah, I think I showed this once and people were like, oh yeah, it grows so fast. And I'm like, does it? Because mine only started growing fast. Y'all, can we see, and this is what I mean. If you use one of these clips with this wide trellis, it's pinching. I'm not even gonna demonstrate. So we're gonna just use the old-fashioned plant tape here. And again, Hoya Kerrii and my Hoya Australis Lisa that y'all saw that was in pieces. Those were my 2 first Hoyas that I got in 2019, I think. And you know, that was a point. Oh, it's so wild. I know I say this every time, I'm sorry. Like, it is so wild. Like, I hate it. I hate it. Hoyas, I didn't get the appeal. And I'm like, okay, sure, they bloom once in a while. Okay, y'all, I am really hoping, because there are, I mean, I killed one over here, but technically it could go out the other side here. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 parts on this vine that don't have leaves, that have the potential to push out leaves. So I'm hoping that should be okay. Here's the issue though, like I don't think I can fit this under the table. I could put it there actually. Okay, I have a new place. Such an underrated Hoya, in my opinion. Okay, we'll just see how this goes. I did want to look at the last 2 videos in the comment section because I think there were a few questions. Let me just like look quickly. Okay, I'm closer to the fan, guys. It's gonna be loud, I'm so sorry. Just need to lean on something. Oh, my back. Okay, so this question is specific to the Hoya Mathilde. I noticed recently that the leaves have gotten much lighter. How do I bring back the dark green color it used to have? Is it bleach from too much light? In my experience, I think it is too much light. I do find though that when my Mathilde is specifically in leca, I think because I'm changing the nutrient solution, there's a fresh set of nutrients that the plant is able to use. And also like the pH is stable at that point if you're constantly changing the nutrient solution. I find that even if the Mathilde is under high light, if it's in leca and you're changing the nutrient solution when you need to, the leaves still stay dark, shiny, and like bigger. I feel like though, you know, my Mathilde in pond right now has large, dark green, shiny leaves just because I have been feeding more frequently like the nutrient solution. And so, I mean, rule of thumb also, like if you're putting a plant under high light, make sure you are feeding that plant. Okay, is anyone watching Wimbledon? Sorry, I'm just trying to find the questions first. And let me just say, there's not enough grass court tournaments, and I know like obviously grass is hard to maintain court-wise. I think I like the gameplay of people that are good on grass, like Roger Federer, Petra Kvitova, you know, Sabalenka, Rybakina, like Kvitova and Jabeur. 11:15, what time is it? Oh my god, I need to watch it. Okay, wait. Okay, let me answer these questions and then I think I might end this video. How do you decide if you use perlite or pon? Also, I love how you pre-plan. Okay, thank you. Do you have a link for the cake dowels? I'll put a link in the description below. I know I forgot I think it was the first video I forgot to put it, but I'll put it in this video. I think there's only a Canadian link. I don't think these specific ones are available in the US. And the only reason why I decided to do perlite is because I wanted initially to sell these propagations. You know, perlite, very similar to pon, and it's very similar to how I like propagating plants. Like I usually just throw Hoyas in leca or pon. And again, I did perlite because if I ever was gonna ship these, dry perlite is generally light, you know, compared to pon. So that's the only reason why I did perlite. Perlite has the ability to hold onto a lot of water while having a lot of air pockets, like, you know, within the substrate and also around the substrate, like the fixed air pockets. But when you're doing this, you do need to feed it more often. And I did learn, you know, growing these propagations for 6 months. Like I started feeding them at the 3-month mark because I saw that the foliage was very, very small. The moment that I started feeding it with like nutrient solution, like my regular leca nutrient solution, the leaves looked fine and healthy again. Perlite only has like I'm pretty sure a little bit of nitrogen, and so it's fine if you're rooting a plant initially, but the moment it starts pushing out growth, you need to supplement that substrate with some sort of nutrients. My nutrient solution maybe is a little bit too strong for these little seedlings, but I know from time to time I did dilute it in half, so it wasn't as strong. You could probably get away with less than that. You could probably dilute it like a 1/4 and you'd have the same results. I feel like I'm talking a lot. I really want to watch this tennis match. Okay, but yeah, I usually prefer pon because if it's in pon, it's a substrate I like. If I ever need to transfer it, there's not going to be any shock because it's still pon. Do you have rules for propagating Hoya in pon? Like have the water at a certain level in the self-watering pot, or starting off with water as opposed to nutrient solution? Thank you. I let the commercials play out. Thank you so much. The most important thing if you're propagating in pon is I like to keep the water line like at the very top of the level of the pond, and that's only because generally for me there is a high chance, just because there's a lot of plants, there's a high chance that I'm going to forget about it, and so I like to overcompensate in a way by putting the water level really high. The reason that that's still okay is because in order for an unrooted cutting to root, it needs to be wet, and so as time goes by, like the water is going to be lost from evaporation. obviously there's no roots. So like the cutting is taking a little tiny bit of water from like that cut part at the very bottom of the cutting, but most of the water is gonna be lost from evaporation. So you can get away with putting less, but you're just gonna have to keep an eye out on that plant and make sure that the pond is like wet at all times, because that is the deciding factor if your Hoya cutting is going to survive. And yeah, if I start with water or nutrient solution in the beginning, I've changed now to just using water in the very beginning until they have roots, or if I see like a new growth, for example. I was trying diamond nectar and rapid start with water. Honestly, I had the same results. So I stopped doing it because, like, in my opinion, it was kind of a waste. All my Hoyas rooted fine in pond with just plain water. There is slow release fertilizer in the pond, which, you know, at that point, your Hoya doesn't necessarily need. I only start feeding when I see roots or if I see like new growth coming out. Have you tried the Crystal Star Nursery semi-hydro that Fern has used? Might be easier for you to get than Lishuza and easier than DIY. So I actually managed to get Lishuza Pond from a store in Quebec, I think, and I was very happy. So I'm good for pond for a while, I think. I haven't used it. I have seen it. It looks like an amazing substrate. Obviously, like, I haven't used it. I've heard amazing feedback from plant people, and I mean, just looking at it and looking at the components, like, that would be an amazing mix. But here's the thing, y'all. I do like just keeping things consistent. You know, looking at the quality of Lishuza Pond, I do prefer just, I know it's expensive sometimes, but like, I do prefer it. Did the tennis start? The match started, okay. So before I go, I wanna ask y'all, cause I don't know. My Hoya Polyneura Broget is really getting out of control here. I don't know if I should like propagate it completely back, cause there's so many vines. Like, there are so many vines. Like, there's like 3 there, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, there's so many vines. Should I cut it back? Should I let it grow? I mean, if I cut it back, I'll probably make a new pot, maybe transfer this into a larger pot and put the propagations like in the pond. Okay, I want to show you the outer variegated. Look at this. Oh my God, is this a thumbnail? It's gonna be so clickbaity if this is a thumbnail. Should I cut it? I don't know. I kind of want to cut them, but if y'all tell me not to, then I won't. Maybe I'll take a few cuttings, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I like, honestly, Hoya chores and stuff, like, it makes me so relaxed. And I feel like there's always like something to talk about because I have so many. And so I am gonna continue doing a Wax Plant Wednesday for the 2nd week in a row, like comment wise, and also looking at just how long y'all watch the video. It's more consistent and it has a higher retention to other videos that I've posted. So like, y'all Hoya people, y'all are special. Thank you so much. Like, honestly, like, seeing that, it just made me so happy. And I do plan to grow my Hoya following here. So again, thank you for watching. And if you made it to the very end, thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.